news feeds all morning. Oh, and it's called She's Having His Baby. That's the working title. It's like snakes on a plane. It was on the news feeds all morning, and when Duo got called into the conference room, the anchor woman was announcing it yet again. The second he walked through the door, Duo cocked his thumb at the radio and said, "Can you believe what shit these guys have been spewing all morning, too?" Spewing, and all morning, too. I mean, she's not really, is she? Hiro nodded. Relena is? Hiro nodded again. Pregnant? Hiro nodded one more time, feeling very much like a novelty item. And how did that happen? Immaculate conception?
Yeah.
That's a bit extreme, Troa drawled from where he was seated, legs stretched deep under the conference table. Well, when did she start having, relations? Duo asked. Sex, Duo. You've been having it. You should be able to say it, Troa replied in a blasé sort of way. Obviously she has, Hiro replied, ignoring Troa. Yeah, well, why didn't you know? He directed at the former Wing Zero pilot. Hiro shrugged. She didn't tell me. Did she tell anyone? Duo looked around the room and caught Troa's eyes going to Wu Fei, who was sitting in the corner with his face in his hands. Oh, no way. You're telling me. Oh, shit. You really stepped in it this time. I mean, I figured if any of us were going to get in this situation, it was going to be like me or Troa. Troa looked at Hiro, who was confused, and shook his head. All the while, Duo kept speaking, drowning out the low voices on the radio. Well, damn, you were supposed to be the responsible one out of all of us. That's enough, Duo, Hiro stated, placing a hand on Duo's arm. Oh, damn, exclaimed Duo, throwing his hands in the air. We gotta keep this quiet, because this is gonna kill you. Like a cornered snake, Wu Fei's head snapped up and he glared at Duo. Don't you think I know that? Okay, just calm down. You just do your thing and we'll figure out how to keep you away from Zek. Deep in thought, Duo walked around the table, speaking in mumbled tones, kicking Troa's feet as he flopped in a chair. On the radio, a BBC reporter was speaking about the state of the Earth Congress and the social restructuring plans for the still-recovering colonies. The letter in her voice was almost calming as she discussed the programs being installed. Wu Fei's headache seemed to calm a little. While the other three planned around the table, he sat away from them, closer to the radio, massaging his temple with closed eyes. He opened them again when he felt someone sitting next to him. When Hiro called me here and said I needed to come to the conference room, I thought there was like some kind of major conflict or something like that, but man, listening to the news, you'd think that this baby was threatening the entire world with a nuclear winter. Wu Fei snorted and looked at Duo. Troa's on the phone with the commander. We're going to see if we can get out of here today. If anyone can talk her into letting us play hooky, it's Tro. The radio commentator had switched, and the man with a loud American accent was speculating on who the mystery father of the Peacecraft baby was. And we've got a plan for getting you out of here if Zek shows up, because even if he doesn't have a suspicion, you're not in any shape to hide what you're feeling from him, and that deer in headlights look is usually a dead giveaway. Thank you for the vote of confidence. Hey man, you got some big news today, and not from the source it would usually come from, and for once, you actually look a little happy, and like you're having an aneurysm, and those two looks together look really funny. I'm glad you find my pain amusing. Now I'm just happy I'm going to be an uncle. It's kind of cool. Duo's hand went from the back of his neck, and he let out an odd laugh. I can't imagine what you're having to go through. And exactly what is your plan for keeping me away from Marquise? Wu Fei asked, quirking an eyebrow. Un says Zex is looking for Hiro, Troa announced, placing the phone back in its cradle. And he demanded that she use his preventer investigators to find the baby's father.
Oh, no.
I'm certain she didn't listen to that. Hiro drawled, looking out the door and down the hall. Is he coming, Duo asked. Not yet, Hero answered, looking slightly disappointed. Barton checked the other hall. And Trello rolled his eyes and started moving to the door across the room from Hero. No, wait, he's coming. Hero walked to the other side of the door, placing himself at an angle into the room, and getting himself ready, looking very much like a retriever waiting for a ball to be thrown, with that same joyful gleam in his eye. Well, that's our cue, Joe said, grabbing a bewildered Wu Fei's arm. Unless you want to stay and face the in-laws. Wu Fei caught up and shrugged off Duo's hand. What's Joy going to do to him? Side tackled Trello answered, opening the door, opening their escape route. Go. Yep, come on, Duo nodded to the door, letting Wu Fei go first. Let's get out of here. As they walked through the door, Zex entered the opposite side of the room, saying, I saw you in here, Joy. Duo looked back into the room as Troy was shutting the door behind him and made eye contact with Zex, and smiled. That might be the worst plan you've ever had, Wu Fei said. Nah, we're going to need a running start. He's going to recover in a second, and I know he saw me walking out of there. Zex may be a little illogical right now, but he's not a dumb man. He will put 2 and 2 together a lot quicker than I'd like and come after us. Isn't that a little counterproductive, Wu Fei asked, starting to jog? Nah, he'll think it was me. So the plan will work until you've decided what you want to do. Duo took a couple of seconds to catch up to Wu Fei before asking, are you going to marry her? Of course I am. Just checking, because this is a 4th century AC. It's not like the pre-colony days. So if the 2 of you decided to live in sin, that's your prerogative. They turned the corner, heading towards the stairwell. Isn't that a little dogmatic of you? Sometimes it's hard to shake the dogma to spend my childhood in a church. We spent a year in a church. When they hit the door to the stairwell, they threw it open, not trying to hide what way they were heading, and started down. But it was still the only childhood I had. It was 3 stories later that Wu Fei said, thank you, Duo, which Duo laughed about. It's nothing right now. Save it till after your future brother-in-law beats the crap out of me. That's all. So.